BLAPCHAT, 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 BLAPCHAT. Yeah. Was good.
Yeah.
Was good, guys. That was pretty lame because it's only two of us.
Nah, that was fire. That was
cool.
fire. We killed it. We killed it.
You know what? Listen. That was decent. I just want to say.
But shout out to Illmind, great producer.
Thank you, Joe Budden. Shout out to Joe. That's a big homie. Welcome to BLAPCHAT. Episode Josh. 80. I'm gonna say 83.
Sounds right.
Episode 83. This is an all music producer podcast. Really, it's all music creators. I think we started off as a podcast that really just focused on music production, but I think even the term music production, you really can't count out the engineers, the writers, the singers, songwriters, right? So we kind of cover everything, but I go by the name of Illmind.
Yep.
And this is my co-host.
Atlas the Plug. What's up? Atlas
the Plug.
All right.
It's Virgo season.
Oh, my birthday's next week.
Birthday's next week.
Ill's just passed.
You know what I'm saying? My birthday passed by, you know what I'm saying? So it's Virgo season officially.
Yes, sir.
Perfection's birthday was yesterday.
That's right.
She's actually on vacation right now. Shout to her.
But shout out to Illmind.
Shout to Avian. Well, as you guys know, Perfection. She's on vacation right now, so we miss her. And Glam will be here in a few.
Yes, sir.
And we are BLAPCHAT, man.
Let's get it.
Yeah, let's get it, man. I feel like it's been a while. We've had this summer's been a little shaky in terms of just like time, because I feel like a lot of people take summer off. August is like an especially busy a month. You know, people are away, people are doing things. I was traveling a lot.
School,
you know, you moved into the new crib,
yes,
so
sir.
a lot of us are kind of moving around. But it just feels good to be back, man. I feel like so much music has happened this past summer. It almost feels like this episode is like a back to school episode in a way. You know, it's like beginning of September. People are back to school.
Getting
it's like
your clothes fresh on the bed.
Fashion shit going.
You know, getting your outfit ready in the morning. You know what I'm talking about.
All that shit. Fashion week is like pretty much wrapped. But you know, if you're a New Yorker, Fashion week is September to fucking January. For the most part, you know what I mean? So first of all, shout out to all of our listeners. Shout out to all the music producers, the beat makers, the writers, the singers, the rappers, the engineers, everyone that fucks with us, even our just like fans who listen to us for entertainment and listen to us. Really appreciate you guys. You know, make sure you follow us on all of our social media. It's at BLAPCHAT, BLAPCHAT. You know, whether you're listening to us on iTunes or SoundCloud, or you're watching us on YouTube right now, especially YouTube, hit that subscribe button, man. You know, and turn your alerts on, because every time we drop, want to make sure you guys are getting the new episodes. So just for clarity, if you've been living under a rock, so this is for our new subscribers and stuff, and shout to you guys. For sure. But we do put out a new episode every week, every Friday. And that's what it is. So Fridays are the day.
Yep.
New episode, go to iTunes and SoundCloud, and then the videos usually drop either over the weekend or on Mondays, usually on YouTube. So shout out to all of our YouTube subscribers, shout out to all of our day one listeners, and also the OG listeners, the ones that were there for BLAP on the radio. You know,
we were just talking about that too.
We were talking about that too, man. Like,
we had good convo in the green room today.
Man. Like,
really positive.
And again, guys, first of all, and you know, I would say this podcast is sort of 85 to 90% evergreen, right? We talk about the culture, but more so we talk about what it's like to be a creator, and some do's and don'ts, and just some business and all that stuff, and you know, the other 10% is usually like current events and stuff like that, but you know, we don't like to dive too deep into that stuff, because you can get that from a million other podcasts. You know, like listen to our guys, the Joe Budden podcast, or go to you know, Rosenberg Late Night or Breakfast Club or this, you know, and I love those stuff too. I love all that stuff too.
Big fan.
And we can talk about, you know, Nicki Minaj versus Cardi for an hour, or we can talk about this and that, but like, we're not really that type of podcast, you know what I mean? So shout out to you guys who really fuck with us for what we do, what we represent. We really care about bringing you guys value, giving you guys perspective, and all that stuff. You're gonna say something, Matt?
No.
Okay, I thought you were gonna jump in.
I might love it.
Yeah, so that's what we do. But I do want to say, big rest in peace to everyone that has passed away in 2018. It's too many to name, so many to name, but most recently, my guy Mac Miller.
Yeah,
rest in power, bro. Such a good human being. I didn't know him super well, but every time I ran into him, every time we had interactions, whether it was like in passing in the studio or like, I don't know if you were there, there was like a random party and he was there. It was in Brooklyn. I was like super drunk.
I remember you telling me about it.
Yeah, and I ran into him, and he was super cool. Like, you know, he was just such a good kid, and I don't want to harp too much on it, but rest in peace to Mac Miller. You will be missed, and you know, prayers to his close family and people that were really close to him.
Yeah, man. And, you know, I know my homie Triple Black and you know, like Conway and them were cool with Mac. Hey, let's just take like 2 or 3 seconds of silence just for Mac right now. All right,
Mac Miller, rest in peace, brother. Rest in peace, man. Such a good kid,
man.
Such a good kid. Talent. But we've lost so many people in 2018. A lot of really insane things in 2018. I mean, every year is pretty wild, but I do want to talk about. We had a really cool conversation before this in the green. I'll call it the green room.
The green room, of course.
But in the green room, we were really talking about just what sparked it. I think was Russ and his interviews recently. And listen, guys, whether you love Russ or hate Russ, he was saying some shit. He was saying
shit
some
people
shit
don't
in
want to
there.
say, right?
He was saying some stuff that people are in denial about. He was saying some stuff that people are upset about. And I got to commend Russ for vocalizing himself and not being afraid to just tell his truth. And I'll tell you, man, like, just someone who has, you know, experienced what he's experienced, and for myself as well, there's a lot of stuff that he said that I could definitely relate to. Of course, on a smaller level, but on a level nonetheless, you know. And I think what I took away from what he was saying was basically just like mental health. Mental health is a big thing, and the idea that, you know, being a celebrity and being popular, you need to have thick skin, which I agree with. But really, you know, human beings are human beings. I mean, there's only so much slander you can get. I mean, all the guys out there, or kids or whatever, that are tweeting, you know, and leaving comments saying you should have died instead of, you know, Mac, or instead of X or whatever. Rest in peace, X. Like. Wow, it really takes a certain human being to wish death upon someone. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Like, that's pretty deep, and I don't want to get too deep into it. No,
I feel you. You know, we're always super positive. I mean, it's just in our personalities. But I think, you know, and we were talking about this in the green room. I think it's just a reflection about how the person typing these mean things in is just feeling about themselves. Right. You know, it's just. That's how they feel. They're just angry inside, and they just, you know what I mean? And there's really no other outlet for them except the internet. Right. You know, so that's their way of kind of getting it out. You know, and so what it comes down to is, what is the solution? Right. You know, and Bob Marley said it best, you know, love. Love is the answer, right? And again, not to go too deep into that, but this is very relevant. It just boggles my mind that you have an artist like Russ, and of course, like, listen, it's cool to hate Russ. It's cool to fucking fuck Russ. He's cocky. He's this, arrogant, whatever. That's whether you think that or not. That's your opinion, right? And to some extent, yes, I do think he's arrogant, but he is saying some pretty valid stuff that you can't overlook, and he is spreading this message of, you know, if I can do it, you can do it too. And again, and just to finish, Logic, another artist who really just is speaking his truth, spreading love. I mean, he put out a song that
contributed to increasing the suicide rate by 30%.
Yeah,
you know, he helped so many people, you know, overcome that through a song that charted on Billboard, but still people shit on him. You know, so it's really just it's this thing. There's this line that's being drawn, and it's like it just seems like some of the guys, like the Logics and stuff that are really spreading peace, love, positivity, are getting shit on by this other group of people. And it's really just, it's like, wow, I don't understand what there is to hate.
You know what? Here's the thing. When people start hating on you, like to those levels, good for you, because that means you made it. That's number one, right? Number two, you were talking about Russ, and you know, we were talking about what people think of him, perceive, he's cocky, he's this. I'm a huge fan of Russ, you know, but either way, you know, just as someone who watches him, here's an example. I think it was Breakfast Club. He was talking about, was it Breakfast Club? No, I think it was Ebro, actually, excuse me. He said this, and I'm just like, and this is why I fuck with him even more. He said, you know, everyone was trying to, like, verbatim, trying to be buddies with, like, the club owners and this, that. He's like, I was studying to find out who the booking agents was. I was buddying up with, but I was studying the booking agents. Who were the booking agents? And that type of thinking and that type of mind frame, on top of the fact that he's already producing, mixing, mastering, tracking. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, like, you could hate all you want, but at that point, you're just looking silly. You're a huge hater. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Another thing, you cannot please everybody. So if you're successful, there are always going to be haters. So you just kind of got to get used to that in a way. And it's difficult to get used to people saying you suck, fuck you, kill yourself. That's I can't even imagine what that's like, you know? So I'm sure it adds up.
It adds up. It
Big
really
time,
does.
every day.
So let's put this message out. If you have or were thinking about commenting something negative on someone's Instagram or Twitter or a tweet or Facebook or YouTube or whatever it is, think about what you did, think about how it made you feel, and then think about why you really did it. Like, think hard about why you did it. Look in the mirror, look yourself in the mirror and say, why did I feel compelled to do that? And what happens is you start to realize that it comes from this, like, deep emotional void or some type of emotional issue that you really need to work out, whether it's through therapy or talking it out or something. And listen, I'm not trying to talk down on, I mean, we all have issues, but when you put that type of negative energy out, something is off. It's like when your body, the human body, when you have a virus, when you're sick, you know, you're sweating out all the toxins and it sucks. When you go to the gym, it fucking sucks because you're sweating, you're drenched, all the toxins that you may have, you know, put in your body are like releasing, and you feel like shit. And so I would just propose that to you guys, and really think hard about what you say and why you say it, and think about your own self and what's driving you to do that. And listen, when you think about all that stuff, you know, there's a lot of, like, vices that people get into and stuff like that, and which is their own, and it's their own business. But you know, the power of music really is something, man. And like, when you have guys that are making music and putting music out for the betterment of positivity and for the betterment of you know, mental health, that's always going to be something that I think is spectacular and fascinating, and I'm always going to co-sign that. Yeah. And I think more of us should, because we need it.
Yeah. You know, I have an interesting story. Is my grandfather is schizophrenic, and he passed away
Rest in
probably
peace.
like 10 years ago. But he was schizophrenic, and you know, to me, anytime I see somebody making fun of someone who has a mental illness or something, it just infuriates me. Like, I get super upset. You know what I mean? And like my granddad, he used to walk in the middle, like, so two-way road, right? The two lines in the middle separating the right lane, you know, going one way, and the left lane going. He would walk whenever he traveled, walking places. He would walk and follow those lines, like literally walking in the middle of the street. And one time he took our stove apart in my house, like literally took it and broke it into pieces and stuff. Like he could have blown up the house, you know, whatever. But like, anyway, so going back to that, you know, like mental health is a real thing, and I think people mistake somebody with mental health as someone who's kind of violent, almost in a way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to attack them, but they don't understand. Like, for instance, even with, you know, and I don't want to go too deep and get too negative, you know, but since we're on it real quick, with these shootings and stuff, a lot of these mental health guys, they get killed. By police. Or people. Because they don't, you know, they could be walking at them. They just don't realize the person is just not all there. So
it's true, man. And listen, with the internet, we have access to all this stuff. We see it now.
True, and on the phone, right away, recorded on social media.
Exactly. And to another point, what we were talking about in the green room before this was, you know, just when you reach a certain level of, you know, influence and notoriety in a specific genre or demographic, being mindful of utilizing your voice for something that contributes something positive to the world, right? And I don't know, I just really feel like, this is me personally, one of my missions is to just make that cool. You know,
I mean, you're doing it. You know,
I'm doing it aggressively, and I'm going to continue to do it aggressively. And as I get bigger and bigger, and I have more and more of a voice, that's just going to increase by even more. You know, and I'm really just talking about more like, and again, you know, I say this all the time. I always use myself as an example, but like, what I'm really trying to do is set myself up and use and try to, my hope is for people to kind of see me as an example of someone who is in the trenches, someone who is a music producer, successful, you know, has done records with this person, but that it's okay to like be cool, and it's okay to spread love, and it's okay to like travel city to city and like meet your peers and meet upcoming producers and musicians and meet people that are like-minded, and also have fun with it, and for that to be cool. You know, I want to show people that it's cool to like be at a certain level and do a random meet and greet, or, you know, have a podcast and talk about this stuff instead of fucking slandering everybody. You know, I don't know, and for me, my motivation and driving force is because it's fun, number one, and number two, because I would rather utilize my voice to do something good with the world than to make it about me. You know, everyone is really, not everyone, but a lot of people think that it's just always got to be about them. It's like me. Look at me. This is my thing. I got this. I got clout. I got the juice. Look at my placement. Look at this record. Look at my watch. Look at this shit. I'm rich. Look at this. I just did this. And really, and we're all guilty of that. We have a little bit of that in us. Some people a lot more than others, but we have a little bit of that in us. We're human. And to me, I think a lot of that is portrayed on social media from that person because of validation. I think there's this real big desire for being accepted and being validated by your peers and by people you're inspired by. It's also a big move to feel like you belong into the crowd, right? It's also a thing to feel good about yourself and to just feel like you're cool. It's like high school. It's like trying to feel like you want to be part of the cool kid table, right? And if you're not part of the cool kids table, you will do anything and everything in your power to be in the cool kids table. But to what cost, you know? So that's my whole point, is this whole shit isn't everything you think it is. and if and when you do reach that point where you do have a voice and an influence for yourself, I would at least ask you to try and do something good with it, as opposed to me. Mm-hmm. You know, it'll feel a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Cool Kids Table, Glam just
joined us. Glam just landed with the full with the full drip, full 90s drip,
full sauce. Yes,
full sauce. Glam, I missed you.
Sorry, I'm late. I know that's why I still hauled ass to get here.
Yeah, where were you coming from?
Long Island.
Long Island?
Yeah.
Long Island's far. People don't really realize how far it is.
Unless you committed murder or like over 65, you really don't need to be over there.
Or like going to the Hamptons or something, right?
Yeah, like it's a pass through, but you don't go there and live. Like,
wow.
Why would you do that?
Shout to everyone in Long Island.
Unless you're a cop, like I said, you're a cop, lawyer, like doctor, you know, they're all over there. So
yeah, true.
Shout out to y'all. But
true.
Strong Island.
Strong Island.
Amazing.
Go.
Well, Glam, you just put out a video and some music. Tell them about the shit you got popping, because this shit is fresh.
I got a lot of new shit. I mean, I just reposted LOL. That's been out for a little minute. It's on SoundCloud. You could go look at that. LOL. I got some new shit actually getting ready to drop too. And I don't know if you guys peep, but I reached out to on my Instagram. I made a video talking about just producers sending me beats. I make my own beats, but I asked the actual producers who follow me to reach out, and I got so many crazy beats.
Amazing.
And it took a little pressure of I feel like I want to evolve a little bit more in my own production, and it's too much pressure to do it as consistent as I want to. So I reached out to a bunch of people, and so like now I'm about to just start releasing like all of this shit
with like other people's beats.
Yeah, other people's beats.
Sick.
So if you want to send a beat, send it to beatsforglam@gmail.com. That's BEATS Gmail or glam@gmail.com.
Beatsforglam@gmail.
MP3s, just because the zip is like I like MP3s, and I want to address this. Somebody said, why would you MP3 when the wave is the best quality? Number one, you're not the only one sending me beats. So it's not even like a fanning thing. It's just that I like to be able to scroll and listen fast. If I get a zip, I gotta download it. I gotta transfer.
And we talk about that.
My attention span is too short for that.
You gotta be quick.
So the MP3 to me is quick because you don't have to do any crazy work, and if it really gets to that point, then I'll ask for the waves and the stems. But right now, I just need to hear it. I might not even
send the MP3.
And you got your phone. You just be chilling.
Exactly.
Boom. You just leave like, this shit's fire. Put it.
You can't do that you can't do that with waves. And I'm on my phone a lot of the time, and I would prefer that. So beatsforglam@gmail.com.
And by the way, guys, for those of you that have been living under a rock, Glam is one of my favorite artists.
Facts.
Raps,
Factories.
Factories. So like, all the producers listening, send your heat. Beatsforglam.
Make sure it's heat
at gmail.com. You know what? Speaking of MP3 sending and file management, we haven't done this on this show, but I want to give you guys like a really great pointer about, and this is for iPhone users only. So I've always had issues with like file management, I have a WeTransfer, a Dropbox, that. Where do I put my MP3s? If I make like an album or a bunch of beats, I want to listen to them on my phone. So some people, email it to themselves, which is like super insufficient. There's like iTunes is like impossible to like import your own stuff now. So it's really weird. So my guy Jahan Sweet put me onto this app, and it's a fucking game changer, like file management app for iPhone. I believe it's only for Apple, but if you use Android, you can check. And the name of the app is called Documents. So
I love that.
So Josh, why don't you zoom into this? Okay.
Damn it.
Download.
I want you to see this. See that little logo on the top left-hand corner? That's the logo. All right. So it's called Documents, and you need to download. But believe it's free. And basically, what it does, it's the ultimate iPhone file management app. So you can create folders. You can dump any type of file in any of these folders. You can download a zip, unzip it. You can unzip the zip
fuck out of here.
In Documents, and then it'll create a folder for you. And then you can sort your MP3s. Like, look, I have this this list of beats here, right? So there's a bunch of beats here. Shout out to my man D Sando, upcoming producer I'm collaborating with. And I told him, send me all of these beats on a zip and send them on Dropbox. So I have the Dropbox app as well, which you want to use with documents on your phone. So he uploads it to Dropbox. I access that folder on my phone through Dropbox, which is a zip file. And then I just click on the little icon and then open in documents. And then, so the zip opens into documents, and then you unzip it in documents. And I have everything here. Also, too, you know how some of these Dropbox and all these apps, like when you play something, you know, if you shut the phone off, it'll stop or it won't play the next track. In this, it works just like iTunes. So it'll keep playing. You can see it on your dock. Like, I could play a beat here. You know, and
Josh
look,
is like,
it's right there.
Look, I have it right on the desktop. Right, I can skip.
That's fire.
I can skip. I can go back. I can pause. So it's like a regular player.
Fire. Downloading that.
And it's a game changer. So
I will definitely be doing that when my phone turns on.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta charge your phone. No excuses.
Yeah.
So yeah, file management's a big thing. But yeah, what were we talking about earlier? We were talking about,
we were getting
before
deep.
You got in, we were really talking about like mental health, like I don't know if you saw the Russ interviews recently, but
I did.
Yeah.
What'd you think? Look at her face. Look at her face.
Yeah,
Zoom in on her face real quick. What'd you think?
Okay, so I feel like this is it has been like a consensus thing that people don't all the way like Russ, or there's like a obvious contrast of people who like him and then there's people who don't, but then you wonder like, what is it about these people who don't like him? So I actually read an article about that interview on Vice, and it was actually really fucking spot on. Shout out to Vice. And the reason I said it wasn't necessarily attacking him or anything, it just really just spewed out everything. And it was only, you know, the reporter made it preface like, I don't know his music, I literally just listened to this interview just to see what could people be so up in arms about. And she had her timestamps and everything, and basically what she took from it was that he has the same stigmas that every other artist has, right? He's supposed to have the confidence, he's supposed to have these things, to whereas she posed the general question, he had went on to say, you know, I don't want people to have to outsource. I constantly, you know, advocate this message of doing it yourself. I mixed, I mastered, blah, blah, blah. You can do it too. Then it got to the point where she said, well, what is your reason behind that? Do you want your people to enjoy your music, or do you want them to enjoy you?
Right. There's a difference.
There's a difference. And I feel like, I hate this. You know when people are like, yeah, man, they hating on me. And it's just like, shut up. Like, not even like, shut up. Shut up. Not like that, but like, shut up at the same time, because it's not that. I think it's, I think I agree with her just as far as like, people may not know where the message is really coming from. Like, are you telling me this because you want me to do it too? And are like, that's really it? Or like, is it to the point where you don't have to bring other people down to have your stance? You do what you do and it's awesome. Great. I guess he feels like he ruffles up some feathers of people who do drugs and, you know, all of this shit. That's cool. I mean, if he has his stance, I feel like he has his opinion just like everyone else. At the same time, there is a certain level of, you don't even have to acknowledge that shit. You don't. You actually don't even have to acknowledge it. You can just walk that much in your path, or that much in you as a person. And what you believe,
you can be Kendrick, you can be Cole, you can.
And they don't. I mean, like, they you know, Kendrick and Cole, that's like a healthy amount of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not overload where they're like, fuck y'all, you know, I'm the best. It's like, you know, get your shit together. And I got my demons too, but shit, you know what I'm saying? It's not there. And I feel like with Russ, it's a little different where he hasn't been in the game long. This is not exactly like, you know, he has been in the game long, but as far as we've known of him, you know what I'm saying? So I guess people look at that where it's kind of like how we look at Azealia Banks, as far as not, you know, that they're similar, but just as far as you have such a strong opinion, but then people will argue your credibility, or maybe it would be a lot stronger if it came from the next person. So I think it's a little bit of both, but I felt him, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I understood where he was coming from, but I'm also an avid believer of just walking in your truth, and it doesn't have to, if it doesn't agree with that other person's truth, you don't got to shit on them.
Yeah.
Just let them,
it almost seems like, you know, Russ's motivation to being vocal about this is for acceptance, you know, to a certain extent. Like, you know, I'm here, like, this is my shit, you know, like, this is what I do. I want the world to know, you know. I don't know. It's really crazy. Like human beings are so complex, and we don't have all the answers, but there's certain, like, not red flags, but there's certain things that I think we notice as a society that are just true all across the board. The idea that every human being wants to feel accepted. Like, you know, depression, a big part of depression is, you know, feeling like you're alone, feeling like you don't belong, feeling like, you know, feeling like you're the only one. And that's scary. That's a really scary place to be. And just speaking in the world, in terms of the world of, like, our culture and hip hop and music and stuff and being creators, like, you can get really caught up in that shit. Like, when you go on social media, and again, we'll talk from the perspective of, like, an upcoming music producer. Like, I'm like an upcoming producer. I don't have any placements. I still have a day job, all this stuff. And I look on social media and I'm, like, seeing all these successful producers, and all they're doing is just, like, flaunting their shit. I'm the best. Yo, check this out. Check this out. Check this out. And it really could fuck with you. It could really make you feel like shit.
It does. You know? I think anyone who, I don't know. I think anyone who says, like, oh, social media is, like, you know, it's a big deal. Like, we try to act like social media isn't a big deal, and it is. And back then we didn't get to see, you know, just like maybe almost less than 60 years ago, we wouldn't even know what our presidents looked like. To now, where, like, that plays a big part. Just imagine if Obama and McCain, you know, went up against each other in 1910, 1920, 30 and shit. We wouldn't even know Obama was black. We wouldn't even know any of these things. We don't know what they look like. So just to have it now to where, like, everything is everywhere, it's overwhelming. And I deal with that almost on a daily basis, where I literally want to unfollow everybody that I follow, not because I hate everyone, but more so, like, it makes a statement to say, like, I'm only focusing on this. And it does get in the way, and I have, like, people come in my shit like, yo, you see so and so and blah blah. Instagram does not get you paid. I just want to say that
Here's
Instagram
the thing.
does not get you paid, not like that, not right away.
Here's the thing about Instagram, and I think all of us who use Instagram, which is probably 99.9% of us, and who are listening, think about every post you make, right? So we all make posts, blah 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 blah. When you make a post on Instagram, one of 5 things are going to happen, right? When you post on your Instagram, you're posting to make yourself feel a certain way, and you're posting to make your followers feel a certain way. And they're all going to interpret it based on how they interpret it. So if you make a post, think about what type of impact that post makes. Are you inspiring someone? Are you making someone feel like shit? Are you making someone laugh?
Are you flaunting?
Are you showing off? Are you posting something that some kid in Idaho can get inspired by and become great? Are you posting something that'll make someone say, yo, that dude's corny, or that girl's corny? Or are you posting something that's really gonna, you know, like, just kind of paint a picture that's either positive or negative for that person? And I think that's really important to note, you know, like, being mindful of what you're posting, because if you have 1 million followers, man, that's like a big emotional impact you're making on one post, you know, like. So I don't know, like, so people say social media is like, you know, people are on social media, what, 50% of their day, if not more, and you're scrolling and you're looking at everyone. I think the consensus is that most people feel like shit when they see, you know,
want to see what you already know, what you're going,
which is sad.
You already know what you have going on in your world, so you want to see what everybody else is doing to a degree. I don't know, because I mean, like, you don't. It's like you have all the time. Like after school, you have all the time in the world. You don't have any structural or like any real obligations other than the ones you make yourself. So you're kind of on your own time. That's why I feel like it fucks you up, because you won't even be like, for me, I'll be checking my phone for the weather. Okay. I'll literally just end up on somebody's cousin's sister's best friend's wedding's dog's, page. It's just like, how the fuck did I get here?
Right.
And it's just, I think we've been conditioned to do that. I think social media is that relevant now, where this is where we get all the access. This is where we find out everything.
So if we are conditioned to do that, and I want to know your opinion, Atlas, too. If we're conditioned to do that, then isn't it our duty to, utilize it for good?
Well, I want to just say this.
I wouldn't say duty.
Not duty, but like, goddamn, we're all sitting here complaining about fucking depression and this and that and clout and this, the culture and all that. Like, oh, the world is so bad. It's because we're fucking human beings and we're terrible. So like, why don't those of us who have influence at least try to change that?
When it comes to Instagram, right? And if you're not following me, Atlas the Plug, one word. When it comes to Instagram, you like that little plug, right? Glam's giggling over there. But seriously, when it comes to Instagram, when I first started on Instagram, it was just me posting just like daily stuff, like not even
regular shit.
People used to post food,
right? Just like all different
I like
kinds
the food
of stuff.
posts. Keep posting food.
No, me too. Food I post on more on my story, but anyway, but like
you got to post bomb food.
But no, right? But listen, it was just that, and then when Glam was saying, and when Glam said like, oh, like Instagram doesn't pay. I'm not, I disagree a little bit, but let me just tell you what.
I'm saying in the beginning stages of how people think. You can get to that.
Which is exactly where I'm getting at. I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. Because in the beginning, you're just posting to post. You're new to the platform. You're just kind of like figuring out, you might have came from MySpace. Who knows, right? If you're even old enough for that. But now what I'm realizing is when I'm posting, I'm very specific, like what I'm posting, you know what I mean? Like what I'm posting about, and Instagram, like they don't pay you as far as that goes, but you can make a business off Instagram. Yeah. And you can make money from Instagram, not by them paying you, but by your followers paying you for some type of service or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So in that light, I think the technology of Instagram or Twitter or Snap or whatever you're using, it's like you can use it as a tool for marketing for your followers to whatever it is, buy your album, go to your party, buy your kit, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Go to your show. So I think for producers, what they have to start doing, or anyone listening who has Instagram and is not kind of thinking in that type of perspective, start thinking like that. Like, really, you know what I'm saying? Like, just try it. And start gearing your Instagram towards your brand. Because whether you're a producer, you're an artist, you're a singer, you're an engineer, you're a friggin' dentist. It doesn't matter. You're a brand. You're a lawyer. You're a brand. So you have to start establishing yourself as a brand. That's
why I always say, and fire for that. That's why I always say, post your truth, post what you're into. There you go. Because you're just going to attract people that are like-minded and that are into the same stuff that you do. And I do think that's the sort of like idea of social media, right? Social media started as this like online platform to connect with your friends.
Which was the first one? Was it MySpace?
Yeah, then it was like, celebrities can do this too?
Okay, Friendster, yeah.
Connect with your friends, right? Right. And then it's like people you know and people you relate to. I still really believe that it is used best when you connect with people that are like-minded. And so like post up shit. I always tell people, especially producers, like, or if you're an artist, like post stuff that you're into. Tell people about
you like. Yes, because if you start thinking, like, I think everybody's been guilty of like, that could get a couple of likes, or that might not get a lot of likes, and that'll be the reason that you don't post it. And I fight myself on that every day. It's like, I'm not posting, like I'm posting for you, but I'm not posting for you. It's to let you into my world. I'm not supposed to cater to what I think you like. That's not why you follow me. That shouldn't be why you follow me.
Yeah.
So I think,
and that works for some people.
It does.
You know what it is.
And it's also whatever works for you. I feel like I think we've all seen references of social media used in good ways and bad ways. I'd say 2 good ways that I've seen, and it's something that you touched on. And I feel like social media is always going to be a topic, but it seems like it's really been a super.
It's part of
topic.
our life.
It's been a super topic as of late, and I think it's just because of everything that's going on between Nicki, Cardi, Meek, and Drake and Mac Miller. It's like all this stuff happened literally in like a week. So it's like a lot going on. But I was talking to somebody, and I was like, man, we scroll and we see a lot of things. We see cars, we see people, like, But I remember one time, like back in the day in MySpace, Lily Allen, I followed her on MySpace.
Love her.
Love Lily.
This is a long time ago. This is before Instagram, anything. So I just remember I went to her MySpace because I was really into her at the time. She had that song called Smile, and it was on MTV.
Is this when she did Window Shopper remix?
It was a little bit after this. It was like Smile had been out for like a cool little minute, and like maybe another song. So she posted a picture, and it was her literally like post bawling, or like she had just got done crying, or she was probably still crying. And I never forgot it, and that's why I'm talking about it right now, because people don't do that anymore, where like people don't do that ever. And I think that it would be refreshing to me to just not see somebody upset, but just to see somebody vulnerable, because we try so hard to
we show our good stuff.
We try to show the good stuff all the time, and sometimes it's cool to let somebody know, like, yo, people got me fucked up today, like I went to work and da-da-da-da, because everybody can relate to that, but everybody feels like, nah, I'm not gonna,
I can't tell them.
I'm not gonna do that. And it's like, that's where you have to decide, like, how badly do you want it.
Listen, this phone is so amazing and so fucking bad for you. I'm gonna propose this too, because we're all guilty of it. Like the other day, I ended up on this shit because I had to post some stuff. Like it was one of the new episodes on YouTube, and I literally ended up on my phone the whole fucking. It was like 6 p.m. and I was like, "Fuck, my day's over." I was just on the phone the whole time, and I felt like shit.
Get into a rabbit hole.
That weekend, I think I remember like. I put the phone away the whole weekend. Like we went upstate.
Good for you.
And it felt like we were hanging out like with human beings, and and there was like some meaningful conversation and good food and good people, and like and I'll speak from the perspective of like musicians and just like creators. We need that. Like if you want to increase the quality of your art, take time off of this shit. And really just like be human for a minute. You gotta for go a day or 2 or 3,
and it's hard.
And you're gonna come back.
Yeah,
because
you're like, I gotta grind. It's like I have to go, especially in this.
And
also,
you're 100% right.
No, like this is what you do. If you feel insecure about it, I'll talk to the producers since it's a producer podcast.
Right.
Friday, make a post. Like put a post up on your Instagram Friday at like 1-2 p.m. and make it a post of you in a picture of you in the studio, like, and then the caption could be like, working, I'm saying, like putting that work in.
I ain't never had nothing. Just that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like fucking Team No Sleep, whatever the fuck you want to post.
Shit.
Post that shit on Friday. Put the fucking phone away till Monday.
Yep.
Because what's going to happen is your followers are going to see your shit and they're going to be like, oh, he's working right now.
Yeah.
Nah, man. You're fucking
That's a good one.
I'm on a mountain somewhere staring
you're upstate
at the air.
New York going fishing right now.
Ew, that's a good one. That's a good one.
People only get what you tell them. So, like, if you're worried about that shit, just, like, you know what I mean? Like, post that up. Be like, yo, I'm on the grind.
Yeah.
And then take 2 days off. Fucking walk your dog. You know what I'm saying? Take a train up to Buffalo, or Toronto, you know what I'm saying? Like, go sightseeing, do your thing. Like, take some time off. I promise you'll feel energized. I
agree.
Because this shit could be very draining.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? As even now, lately, back to the last thing I said, I never post on the weekends.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? I do exactly what you said. I try not to even look at social media.
A super mood
I still do it.
Yeah.
Listen, I still do it because I'm a terrible person, right? But like, at the percentage is way less. So I'm like on the weekends, maybe like 5% of my time I might be on social, as opposed to during the week it might be like, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on the weekends, nah. I've been like really, really good about that.
I'm chilling. I feel like I'm getting back into it, but I'm super like. if I don't want to post, I'm not posting. Yeah. That's literally how I am, because if I feel the pressure,
you should trust your own.
Yeah, then it's like
when you feel like
it's like when someone says like act natural.
It's
like, I don't like
no,
that
if you
shit.
feel like you're forced to, you don't want to do it.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I've like actually struggled with certain people that have like really adamant like, yo,
you're an artist. That's what it is to be art.
Yo, you know, you see so and so and you see so and so and they're that's not what I'm trying to do though. And it's like it wouldn't. And if I did that, my followers wouldn't like. That's not what they follow me for. Yep. You know, so it's just like it's very. And then also trusting yourself to like stay in that too and not listen to like, well, damn, you know, maybe I do gotta start. It's just like consider it at most, but you know, like for me, I know like immediately if I want to post or if I don't, or I'll at least wake up like, you should post something today, you know. Also too,
and again, I'll speak to the producers, and this is artists too. There's certain posts that get the most interactions and most likes,
engagement,
right? And from my experience, and I'll just speak from the producer experience, when you're in the studio creating something, that gets high engagement. When you post a story about something that's honest to you, like an experience you had, or something that you learned from, or something that is inspiring, that's like, wow, like I can relate to that, and I feel like I can do that too, or I feel like, you know, I went through the same thing. You know, just I think there's there's certain emotions that when you tap into those emotions from people, they tend to interact with it more. You know, and the posts that you put up that are only about you, that is like, you
nobody cares.
Fuck you. This is like
nobody
my shit.
Cares. Go
like,
support me.
You're not gonna
drop September.
Motherfuckers are gonna hate. They're gonna look at it and they're gonna skip right over it. They're not gonna like it. They're not gonna comment.
That's a fact.
So, you know, again, like if you want fucking likes and comments, like post some meaningful shit, tell a story, post something that's engaging or something interesting. And I'm not saying you have to be all like positive, lovey-dovey shit.
No.
But
some
like,
real
be
shit.
you. Post some real shit. Be you. Don't be a fucking, you know,
bitch.
Like don't be a bitch.
You know who's killing it right now though? I say who's making Instagram a lot more enjoyable is Will Smith.
And
honestly, if Jim Carrey gets on there, then it's a done deal.
Oh
He's my number 2.
He needs to get like between those two.
Wait, is Neil deGrasse Tyson on Instagram?
I think
because he's another one. I love him.
Awesome. And I think it's kind of crazy. The timing is impeccable for Will Smith to be on Instagram, because Instagram started in 2011. So when you think about how it's evolved, we didn't have stories, we didn't have we weren't able to even film for a minute. That was Vine. We had a whole
15 seconds.
They had a whole separate app for that. So now it's like the way he's utilizing it, it's just literally him living his life, and with a budget, obviously, or no budget, should I say? You know, like limitless. So that's pretty inspiring.
And you know, with his son, with the whole icon, I'm an icon living. That record is so hard, by the way. Did you see on Instagram when he brought out his dad to do the verse?
I didn't see it.
And then
I saw that.
They're backstage, and Will's like, all
yeah,
right, cool. So when this part comes on, you know, I'm gonna come in. And the both of them, it was so like organic and natural. They were like rehearsing it. I was like, this is so beautiful.
Post videos of you rapping with your son if you're a father.
Man, I was so
with your dad.
Or like, I love puppy videos. I follow
people love that shit.
Pups.
Animals.
Oh my god, follow
the
pups.
Husky one.
Huskies. You could follow if you're a fat ass like me, like so. You can follow Skinny Pig NYC. Be fat, be happy. Yes. They post literally the best things, but also, I was like, damn, that was smart. I wish I did that. This girl goes all over fucking New York and eats everything and posts like fire ass pictures. And that's it.
And she probably has what? How many followers? Like a million?
A couple of 100,000.
Yeah. Nice.
Just going to eat.
Yeah, and then because that's her passion.
Yeah, she's like, I love food. I'm like, well, fuck me too.
Yeah.
Should have thought of that. The fuck.
And then it might get to the point where restaurants are hitting her up.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. That's
come
what
to my
they do.
Restaurant.
But it is like that.
On the house. Just come
I
rate
need
our
you to come eat just so you can post about it. It's like she just. I don't think that I can't say if it was on purpose.
This conversation just inspired me to create a new Instagram account. And you know what I'm going to do?
Food.
No, this is a social experiment. I'm going to start an Instagram account, and it's just going to be me posting mundane shit.
But there's an article on that. I read it on social media. They say everybody should have a separate account where you just do whatever the fuck you want, because it's kind of how you build for your other page, and then you can actually turn that page into something too. Yeah. So get an extra Instagram page. You know how many celebrities have like trolling accounts, like just to respond to some shit. Like,
guys, I'm gonna do that.
Internet is crazy.
I'm gonna do that account. You know, I'm gonna create it right now.
Yeah, do it.
We're gonna create it right now.
I saw a Twitter name. I saw a Twitter name that said "Yo Weave Stank Ho."
Wow.
I thought that was awesome. Yo Weave Stank Ho.
Yo Weave Stank Ho.
No, Y-O, like Yo Weave Stank Ho.
What should we call?
That's what I'm saying. The whole name,
which has probably got said many times. You know what I mean? Like,
he was like, I know.
Alice, give me a name for the Instagram. I'm gonna use one of my.
Yo Weave Stank Ho. Just kidding.
Should it be my government
Pillar
name?
and Stones.
Pillar and Stones.
Oh damn! Fuck! I can't.
Somebody definitely got that.
Well, I'll figure it out.
What was it you said before?
Pillar
You said it before.
What?
You said an account where I can post
like just mundane.
Shit.
So look up mundane shit.
Mundane shit.
Mundane shit, and see if that's
taken. I have
taken.
to look it up.
There's an Instagram just named Bitch.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. It's just Bitch.
I'm really gonna figure this out. Let's call J Reid.
Let's do it.
J Reid, what's up, man? It's Illmind.
What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? Yo, thank you for joining us, man, on the podcast.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm glad to be here, man. Appreciate y'all time, man.
Yeah, for sure. I love the shirt. Star Wars represents.
Yeah, I saw that too. I noticed that right away.
Oh yeah.
Is that now? Here's the question: is that one of those like limiteds, or like what's up with that one though? Where'd you get that?
It's not a limit. I just, I think I'm gonna be real. I just got out of Target,
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was gonna say that's where the ill shit is. Target and Disney.com got the ill shit.
Hey,
I got a couple from there.
Yes, sir. So yeah, man. And Star Wars is one of my favorite, movies and series too.
We can do 2 hours of just Star Wars shit, but I think people would fucking hate us. Yeah. But anyway, man, Jay, first of all, thanks for joining us. Obviously, big congrats on all the new stuff, the Nicki stuff. I think there's a good amount of people that are really starting to kind of catch on to what you've done and your sound and stuff. It's really interesting because I do think there's some material out there already on, for people that have looked for like how the Nicki stuff happened and how you met her and stuff. But really, I'm very fascinated by kind of what life is like now for J Reid. I mean, when this podcast obviously is a producer podcast, and we talk to a lot of up and coming aspiring producers, and the hope is that these guys out here that are grinding finally reach sort of that first milestone where their life like noticeably changes.
Definitely.
And even before Nicki, I know you've been on the grind for a while, and you've worked with some really great artists even before her. And it really does seem like I think it's safe to say that life is different for you now after Nicki. So so let's start there. What's it like now, having produced her singles and then Queen coming out to such high reception? What's life like as a producer now? What are you up to, and what are those phone calls like?
Well, first off, I guess, as a producer, you always go out through your career, and it's like when you press play, sometimes it doesn't resonate with the artist as fast. Mm-hmm. Now that has definitely changed. I can not feel the beat like that. I can be like, I can just play some, they'll go crazy over it just because they feel like it might be the next one. You know what I'm saying? So, really, like you said, that's a big difference. I don't have to really go through my whole catalog to see, for an artist to say, I love this beat, you know what I'm saying? So, that's a big difference. Mm-hmm. But also, definitely like, man, just the fact that, all the labels definitely called, trying to offer different things. So just trying to navigate through all that and, make sure I know all the business and stuff like that. That's just number one, actually, I don't have, nothing but a lawyer and a manager. So at the end of the day, I'm like really just, you know, trying to stay on top of everything myself because, you know, I'm just trying to make sure I make the right decisions going forward because I don't really see myself as a, you know, a temporary type of producer, as you said. Like, I've been producing for, like, really, I've been producing half my life, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So at the end of the day, I feel like the next 20, 30 years should be filled with the same, you know, work. So at the end of the day, that's kind of what I'm protecting myself for, you know, at the end of the day, and just not jumping out on the, you know, on the limb and just signing the deal, you know what I'm saying? Because,
exactly,
you know, that's real big, you know, to a lot of, you know, guys. But at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, shoot, like you said, the Nicki records, you know, shoot, come on now, if I own my own publishing for my Nicki records, why do I have to, you know, sign?
Why do you have to sign them off?
Hello.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, and so at the, you know, at the end of the day, that's kind of big to me. You know, I got a lot of questions about that. You know, and from other producers, they just like they amazed that I haven't taken a deal. For those out there, I haven't taken a deal yet.
So because, you know, so you haven't taken any type of like big publishing deals or anything yet?
No, not yet.
Like that?
Nope.
That's good.
Not yet.
You know what's dope about what you're talking about? Someone like you who has these placements, and you know you're talking about, you know, it's just you, it's your manager, and it's your lawyer, but at the same time you're even more hungrier than you were in the beginning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not depending on them. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but I got to do this, that. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, for real, man. And like you said, at the end of the day, this is an extra motivation, like, at the end of the day, because it's just, you know, everything I've always worked for. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So what have you noticed kind of a shift in your routine post Nicki Minaj singles? I mean, in addition to you know, artists you know, really wanting your tracks now and more people have their eyes on you, in terms of your output, are you the type of guy, like, is this like an everyday thing for you? Are you like making fucking 5 beats a day for 3 summers like Kanye, or like are you now making like 10 a day? Like, how have things changed? Yeah,
it's definitely a bigger difference, because I feel like instead of making, you know, I was making maybe 10 beats a day, you know, and just sitting down and just trying to knock them out. But now maybe I'm making 5, but I'm focusing more on those 5 and making sure they're records and not just regular beats. You know what I'm saying? They got changes, they got different things in them that make people, you know, feel them, you know, more than just, like you said, just, you know, a regular loop that just goes over and over and over. And, you know, like you said, it's just more impressive once you sit down and you actually conjure up something that somebody can really just, you know, give their all on, which, like I said, like that Chun record, like, even if I made it in 20 or 30 minutes, it's just so many different elements in it that made Nicki want to just go crazy on it. You know what I'm saying? So it was just,
amazing. So it's very interesting because, you know, another big topic we talk about on this podcast is, you know, as an upcoming producer, what is it like to go from like being a beat maker and making really good beats to then being a real producer, being in a room with a superstar, you know, learning how to, you know, the ins and outs of like studio etiquette and who's doing what and when to, you know, as a producer, when to vocalize your opinion and when to kind of sit back and watch the show. And I'm sure that's been kind of a learning experience for you, being in with Nicki, you know, being in the studio with her. What are some things you've learned that you think upcoming producers could learn from, in terms of, you know, being thrown in a studio with a megastar for the first time? What are some kind of things you learned from that experience, or maybe some do's and don'ts from your own experience?
Well, basically, one thing is definitely you have to kind of sit back and just, you know, chill out a little bit, even though, you know, let me
give you an air horn for that. You guys chill. Step number 1.
So no, but yeah, one thing, you gotta chill out, man. You know, you just gotta be all ears, because in that kind of situation where she like flew me out there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I basically had to do whatever she wanted me to do, you know. And that's really like in every situation that I work with her, because she has a vision. You know what I'm saying?
And as the producer, your sort of job is to try to execute that vision for that person as best as possible, right?
Period. Because, you know, if you can't, you know, it's the next man up. It's just like sports, you know what I'm saying? Like basketball, football. You can't do your job out there on the field, somebody else is surely going to get called up and do it for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of mentality I had going into these situations, because I just knew, like, if I wasn't capable of doing it, somebody else was. You know what I'm saying? Just like Illmind, he got a record, dope ass record on the project. You know,
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You know, that song is dope as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Shout to Boy Wonder, man.
Hard White, right?
Yeah,
yeah, that shit is crazy.
So it's just like stuff like that. Like, she has a vision, and shoot, you know, I was like determined. And like I said, even for Chun and Barbie Teens, I made 15 different tracks for her to choose from, because I was like, you know, shit, I refuse to lose. You know, at that. You know, like you said, she didn't spent money, which I appreciated for that, because she spent money getting me out there, spent money, you know, for traveling and stuff like that. She didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? But
so that's so interesting that you really took initiative and made, you know, 15 versions of a record, you know, hoping that was in. And was that something that Nicki was very open to? Like, oh, I'm glad you did, you know, 15 versions to choose from, or?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it gave her options. It didn't just, I didn't say, okay, here's a beat, and you know what I'm saying, if this not it, then I'm gonna be super disappointed that you didn't pick it. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it gives me a little bit more breathing room, and it gives her a chance to choose from exactly what she wanted. And it is like, you know what I'm saying, it's the same vibe, but it's different vibes. So like you said, she was able to choose the Chun-Li beat and the Barbie Teens from the same 15 tracks.
Yep. So I have a question for you. When you got flown out there, and I'm assuming she was in the studio because you got flown out, so obviously that makes sense. What was that like? Was she by herself? Was it like maybe 3 people? Was it like 15 people? Like, what was the vibe like?
I mean, usually, you know, it's real, you know, very, very private, exclusive, you know, so it's like, really, like you said, nothing goes on unless she's saying it, like, shoot. So at the end of the day, like, I'm not just in the studio. It's like she's doing different stuff, and then I come in there and present what I have, you know what I'm saying? So it's very organized, it's very efficient. As you can see, it's like we got 5 records done within, you know, months, and all of them are crazy, you know what I'm saying? So it's just,
they're
like,
all definitely crazy, man. Yo, respect to you, man. You're killing it, man. Salute to you, for real. Exactly. Appreciate you having you on BLAPCHAT.
Yeah. So what are some of the things you are kind of mindful of now that life is different? You have a lot of different people that are hitting you up for different projects. What are you kind of prioritizing right now? Are you developing artists? Are you picking and choosing kind of what projects to take on based on like what you're passionate about? Like, what's your thing now?
Well, basically, I'm kind of working what comes to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here just searching for artists, and because I realize in this day and age that a lot of different artists have their own producers. So, you know, I'm kind of sitting back in the cut and, you know, developing my artists. Like I said, my first artist that I'm really just working on is Beja Rodriguez. She's an R&B artist.
Nice.
Yeah, man. You know, she's dope. She got a hell of a voice, man. She does trap, she does pop, she does R&B. So it's just a hell of a combination. So at the end of the day, you know, I'm working on a lot of different bigger artists, but I feel like at the end of the day, my goal is to try to, you know, create an artist and create a sound, you know, for what's going on now.
Yeah, that's great. And we talk about that on this podcast all the time, how, you know, artist development, such a big thing, even for a producer that maybe isn't at that level yet where they've had that big milestone. You know, the value of taking your sound and developing an artist and really being able to call that your own, I think is really, really amazing.
Yes, man. And it's not easy, but at the end of the day, me and her, we've been working for about a year, and we got a crazy catalog, you know, and we just dropped the album back in May, right after we dropped the Chun-Li and Barbie Teens record. So, you know, she had a lot of good buzz from that. And, you know, like you said, we just working. But at the end of the day, that's my goal, to put on an artist with my sound, because I just feel like instead of, you know, and I told Nicki this as well, like I told her, you know, my goal is to, you know, maybe produce for 4 or 5 different artists, and, you know, just keep circulating those artists. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And if I can do that, then we can go gold and platinum all year.
Exactly.
Why switch the formula? You know?
Exactly. And we had a similar conversation when we had Six, who's Logic's producer, who's also really dope. We had him on the podcast last year, and he was talking about the same thing. You know, coming up with Logic and getting these big records in, and a lot of his long-term aspirations were to start developing artists and then kind of, you know, building from there. I think it's great. You gonna say something?
No, I'm gonna, you know, I mean, Jay, since we have you on the show, I think you and Glam, you know, sitting here on my right.
Yeah, by the way,
an amazing artist and co-host.
I know you can't
BLAPCHAT.
see her. I know you can't see her, but Glam is
Glam, you know.
Glam is one of my favorite artists. She raps, she sings, she's super amazing. She produces her own stuff too, but yeah, she's super dope. I think you guys would make some
well, you guys I mean, I'm on Instagram. I'll follow you on Instagram. I'm sure you got a bunch of Instagram people now, but I'm Glam is here. So if you that's familiar, I'll hit you up on the gram.
Okay, bet.
Since they connecting dots.
Jay,
check you out.
Yeah, that's
Jay, I got you. I'll text you. I got you.
Atlas the plug. What's I love, you know what I love about your socials, man? Like your it feels so authentic and honest. Like your IG stories and what you post on Instagram. We were talking about that earlier in the episode, how, you know, when you post stuff on Instagram, for instance, you know, it makes people feel a certain way, sometimes positive, sometimes negative. I mean, you're either, you know, posting something to like flex, or you're posting something inspirational that people love, or just something honest that's really just honest to who you are, and then you start to attract like-minded people. So like, what's that experience like? Because I know your socials have definitely jumped big time since Nicki, so you have a lot of Nicki's fans on there, and then some of your own fans and stuff like that, producers. Well, what's that interaction like now? Are you more mindful with like what you're posting, or what's that like?
Yeah, because I have to be almost like, now this is the business that I've always wanted to run. You know, I've watched it from afar once I had, you know, when I had 5,000 followers, you know what I'm saying? Yep. And now with 25, it's a totally different, you know, venture, because now it's a marketing place. It ain't just a page, you know. So at the end of the day, I try to be mindful of everything that I post, you know, whether it be for myself or for one of my artists that I'm working with, like you said, indie artists. I'm just trying to, you know, I got to make it make sense to where, you know, like you said, even the people that don't know the artists that I'm working with, they're interested in the stuff that I begin to post about them, you know. Like you said, I definitely have tons of Nicki fans, you know, shout out to the Barbs. They definitely,
shout
you know,
to Barbs. And so you're definitely not posting a picture of that food you're about to eat, then, huh?
Right.
No more stuff like that.
Grubhub, not the Grubhub.
No regular mundane posts like, hey, just ordered tacos.
No, for real. And I'm vegan, by the way, too.
Oh, word. Okay. That's what.
Congrats.
You know, and thank you. So
what is it? What is it you ordered?
I ordered it's called a Sky Free. I should get a product placement for this. Okay. A Sky Free veggie burger. Okay. From it's called Old Blind Dog. That's the name of the restaurant.
Sounds fancy.
Atlanta. In Atlanta?
Go down to Old Blind Dog. I'm going to get some.
In Atlanta.
You know what I mean? You got that old Blind Dog
Sounds
money.
like a knee
Yo,
slapper.
they're about to blow up. Their order's about to go to the roof. You better get some kind of royalty off this or something.
Jay, before we let you go and chomp down that Old Blind Dog, sounds really good. What's one single that you can think of? One single piece of advice for the upcoming music producer to really just achieve what they want to achieve?
Man, stay humble, but also stay hungry. You know, because at the end of the day, this is, you know, the increasingly technological world that we are living in makes it way more easier to produce and do beats than it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. So at the end of the day, you have to stay hungry and stay learning, you know, because at the end of the day, it can leave you fast.
Facts.
So,
Facts.
Yeah, man. So that's my piece of advice, man. Everybody, please take heed of that. Stay hungry, stay humble.
You heard him. Air horn on that. That's the fucking truth right there.
So J Reid, do me a favor. Just give everyone your socials so they can find you. They can contact you. if you don't mind.
Yeah, definitely. My Instagram is J Reid, the producer, JREID, the producer, spelled straight out. My website, new website is www.chevymusic, CHEVIMUZIC.com, chevymusic.com, and got a lot of information about me, pictures, new music, all my whole discography. So got a lot of stuff. So definitely, please keep following me. Please keep up what I got going. My phone blowing up right now.
Yes. But Nikki's calling. She wants some of that old blondon.
Your boy's busy out here. He's busy out here.
Your boy's busy. You know what I mean?
Got things to do, man.
Jay, keep killing it out there, man. Love watching you win. Love watching you from afar.
Oh yeah.
You're one of the good guys, man. Rooting for you. Keep making us proud in the producer community.
I just followed you on the gram too.
Yeah, Glam just followed you on the Grizzy.
No, next time I'm in Atlanta, I gotta pull up, man. We gotta do some.
No, we gotta work. That's why was my next thing. I was like, hey, man, it would be a pleasure to do a one beat with you guys.
Listen, they're not ready. They're not ready for J Reid and Illmind, man.
No, they're not. That's the new wave. I promise.
Yeah, that's some wild shit. Jay, we'll talk soon, bro.
Okay, appreciate y'all.
Enjoy, man.
All right, Jay, be good, man.
Peace.
Y'all too. All right.
Shout to J Reid. Good dude. Good dude. Man, a lot of jewels in there. And again, stay humble.
Yep.
Just like a continuing message for all of you guys.
Hungry and humble. That was the two.
Hungry and humble.
The two H's. Hungry and humble.
It's so true. Those are the two key. That should be a book. Hungry and humble.
Humble.
Yeah. So before we call Jay, we were talking about how I started a new Instagram.
Oh, yeah,
So I started the account. I actually had an old account and I changed the
Mm-hmm.
username. I cheated a little bit. But you guys can follow it if you want. I'm going to start posting mundane stuff.
Let's go.
And I made my first post. And the Instagram handle is I'm from Bloomfield.
Bang.
Which is true. I'm from Bloomfield. I'm from a small town in Jersey. Called Bloomfield. And so the Instagram handle is I am from, so it's IMFROM BLOOMFIELD. I'm from Bloomfield. Follow that account, and I'm going to start posting some fucking regular ass shit.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
You're such a fucking I don't. Yo, you see that shit on Genius?
Which part?
Apparently, T-Pain said he left that beat in New York with Kanye at the studio. Not that beat, but like a beat similar, and he took like the bass line and everything. It's
That's
like a
crazy.
whole Genius mashup. It's a mashup on Genius, the same tempo on the beat.
Genius.
The beat is like the bass like boom, 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 but it sounds the same, and it's the same tempo. And T-Pain's playing it on his live, listening to it. But Genius posted it. He didn't. He just said, I just told my wife I left that beat in New York. And he's like, I'm not saying he took it, but, and that's all he said. It was like,
we'll leave that to interpretation.
Yeah, right. That's what he left us to do.
Shout to all my all the followers, all my guys out there, all my Blap gods. Shout out to all of our listeners on BLAPCHAT. Yeah. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.
Next week, my birthday.
Yeah, next week is
Let's talk about it real
birthday.
quick.
Yeah, shout it out. What are you doing?
So next week, September 20th, birthday party in New York City. I got Illmind to my left-hand side doing a set. Buck Wild. Yeah, keep that going. I got Buck Wild. I got Ski Beats. I got Chef Pasquale. I got Sean J. Period. I got young homie Riser coming out, and I got special guests, so you don't want to miss it. New York City at Drum, 85 Avenue A in New York City. Follow me, Atlas the Plug.
And how can people get in? They just pull up?
Yeah, just show up. Just show up. It's open to everybody.
All right, 85 Avenue A,
New York City, at Drum.
Thursday evening. What time?
Thursday at 10 p.m.
All right, Thursday, September 20th.
September 20th.
Let's go.
Booty loops.
All right, we're out of here. See you next week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Leave those comments. BLAPCHAT, we out. Peace.